So we can start with that first.
All right.
Biden
Yeah, I
is
got a
better.
cue to the first one. All
All
right, here
right.
we go. All right,
Their
here we go.
power to prevent people of color from voting. They're doing everything, stumbling blocks, trying to keep the redistricting from going on, and yet it's going on. My feeling is that people, progressive people, people of color, will see through this and be able to put Biden back in office. He may not be the best candidate that the Democrats can offer, but he's certainly better than Trump.
That's
Um,
true.
what is your feeling on that?
That's absolutely true. We would rather have him than Trump any day of the week. I mean, that's absolutely the truth. And even his sentiments, around at least some liberal ideas and ideas that we can struggle around and fight and push, to become more progressive. I mean, with Trump is just straight out, backward kind of ideology and thinking. Would be a difficult opportunity for us. But, I think that we will prevail. I mean, if there are enough people that understand how dangerous this guy is, even though, Biden and those folks are tripping over themselves, I think that people will understand and the necessity of this and how dangerous a Trump presidency would be and get themselves out there and prevent it.
So, okay, before I descend,
Oh, and this gonna get
seriously.
worse. That's like,
Oh, all right.
it's gonna
But
get
seriously, what is the not the simple that we've heard so far, and I'm admitting this is all I've ever heard from the interview, and this is so I don't want, but from what we've heard so far, beyond the surface level, Biden is better than Trump. What is the actual argument? Because the country, the world suffered 4 years of Trump. It has now is suffering 4 years of Biden. I'm serious. I'm not up to date on the argument. What is the legit argument Democratic Party supporters are making for that Biden is actually better than Trump?
oh, that's coming.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow.
It's coming.
Oh, damn.
Because here's the
All right.
so the conversation, that's almost the start of the conversation. It's not a very long interview because Ross is busy. He ain't got time to be up on WBAI for too long. And they do a whole morning report on the news before they go to the actual show. So that's probably about 3 minutes in. You didn't miss a whole lot at the start. But the overall premise is basically, so Felicia, he has been every Thursday having these conversations about how bad it's going to get if Trump gets back into office. I mean, he's set on this path and he wants everyone to align with that theory. And so the next clip is going to explain to you what the Democrats should be promoting so that people can understand how much better things have gotten under them.
There's so many young people, just to switch to another modality here. He really has defended Israel all the way. And there are a lot of young people who say he's promoted genocide. He's given them the guns. He's given them the
Wait. Did I skip one? I skipped one. Oh man, my bad. Wait, I'm looking at the. Oh, my bad. Hold on. All right, hold on.
You got go to 1154. And I'm actually, it's good.
Oh, I did. I'm reading it. I'm going top. I'm going. Okay, I'm not reading the. My fault.
All good. But I'm glad it actually works out that you did that because I forgot. I forgot to mention something. So before you play this clip, I want everyone to understand that so the host believes that based on what all the experts are saying, the economy is doing well, right? And one of the reasons he gives for why the economy is doing well is because the stock market is exploding. So now, okay, there we go. I forgot to mention that part. So now that we know that the stock
Roz
market
said
is
that?
no, Feliciano. Yeah,
Luciano said that.
Luciano said
So
it, that the stock market is exploding and the economy is going well. So what are the Democrats missing? What are they not telling the people
that
that
really
they need to
is
know?
that really is the economic. Our
Mhm.
house is on fire, boss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The economy doing well, obviously, just so we put it on the record, does not mean anything other than those who own the goods and services and the stocks are making more money. It does not mean workers are doing better. That trickle down thing that the more the wealthy make, they'll treat the poor's better.
Mm-hmm.
No. It just
No.
it just means Wall Street's doing well, and those who have stock, the handful, the what is it, the 1%, they got 80% of all the real stock. I like whatever
Right.
the number. It's all that
Right.
they're doing. So that whole thing of that's what I'm
But the
saying.
experts,
Oh
but the experts
man.
said it. The experts said it, Jared. The experts said it. Okay, so now
All right,
now
now
play.
I got it. Now okay,
Okay.
here we go. Hold on. Wow. All right, here we go.
Of the experts is doing well. Stock market is exploding.
Oh.
Things are going on. What is it that they're not doing?
Clearly, I mean, they're clearly not focusing on the domestic agenda, the things that they've done domestically. They're not able to put that message out. They're involved in all kinds of things, internationally more so than they should be, publicly. Locally, they should be talking more about what's going on nationally and what they've done. The recovery from COVID is number one, keeping cities from being bankrupt. People laying off police and fire and teachers and so forth and so on. All of that stuff would have been imminent if it wasn't for Biden. I mean, the economy recovering so quickly, his investment, in social and local programs made it necessary for us and this economy to move forward because of those investments that he's done. And then we see that even in criminal justice reform and all the other kind of things that he's been pushing.
So I heard it. I couldn't find a button. It is StreamYard. Please, people, create a studio layout that will help us get to things faster. Please. But he said it. He invested in the cities. I got money. And that's the game plan. That's been the game plan. Sprinkle money to the black mayors, to the black press, to the elite nonprofits, and this is the outcome. Wow. So everything's been the Democrats really been doing good. They've been
doing great. They just focusing on they're not getting the message out, Jared. They're not getting the message out. They're doing it all.
All this Ukraine and Palestine nonsense.
They're doing it all, and they're not getting the message out. So, all right,
because it is better. Just to be clear, right? Because you're right. It is better. It's just the message hasn't reached.
Right.
The reality is there.
The issue is they're not giving the information, Jared. They're not giving the information so that people can understand how much better things are now.
Because you know? Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So now play the next one, because this is the part where I screamed at my TV. So go.
Yeah, this is that sounded like it was off to a good start. Here we go.
There's so many young people, just to switch to another modality here. He really has defended Israel all the way. And there are a lot of young people who say he's promoted genocide. He's given them the guns. He's given them the legislative power, the moral. He's trying to get the moral high ground. A lot of young people say they're not going to vote for him. I've been telling them, you may get mad at him, you may disagree with him, but to not vote is insane.
Yeah, it's just wrong. I mean, it's a mistake to disagree with somebody on one item, and there's 10 items that you are talking about, and you agree on 6 or 7 of them, but 3 of them you have a problem with, so you walk away from the table. I think that's just bad politics. You're not going to agree with anybody on everything. And some people, and most people, you have to struggle with around specific things. And you struggle with him around the issues that you have a problem with. But overall, I think it's important that you understand who are your closest allies, or the people that closely align with you, or align with you in some capacity, that will help you further your gains and further your ideals, and not, put somebody in office who's going to try to outright slaughter you. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me to do that.
It seems.
Wait.
Yeah.
So Biden, my bad. Wow, that was wow. That was a wow for me.
This is why I don't let you listen to it before the show, because I want you to fully embrace. I want your full reaction, so that.
I think now you setting me up. You're gonna get us in trouble.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
But I did hear correctly, right? He said the question started with, there are going to be some young people, as if those silly youths.
Yeah, it's the youths.
It's the youths who will say Biden is supporting genocide. So what is the response to that? And he said, and Mayor Baraka says, we're not going to agree on everything. If there's one or two things you don't agree with. So like genocide is a pretty big thing for us not to agree with. It's not
apparently it's not big enough, because it's just one thing.
It's not like pancakes versus waffles or what, you know what I mean? It's not like coffee versus tea. It's not even. But then real quick, so the real one I want to ask to make sure I heard correctly is, he says, ignore the genocide Biden is literally sponsoring happening right now in full speed ahead in Gaza. Because if you get Trump in here, he'll actually do it to you here. All right.
Wait. So go, because this is the thing that I think bothered me the most, because this is when the contradiction for me really also just. So go to 2050, and it's just a few words. But when you hear them, this is now Luciano talking about Trump. Go ahead.
All right, hold on. Let me. All right, we're gonna have to start a few seconds ahead, because it's a little difficult to get it all the way.
Giovanni, the last poets, and of course Mayor Ras Baraka. Finally, I saw two beautiful children. You have two beautiful new kids, man. They are gorgeous. I saw them. You showed me a picture of them. It's wonderful. Yeah. And congratulations, Pop.
I think I put the wrong.
Would you tell Amiri I said hello?
Go to
and tell the staff I said hello.
I'm sorry, because it's responding to somebody talking. I must have
25.
Yeah, because he lets people start calling in. I'm so mad at myself.
That he's in.
No, it's all okay. Here we go.
The United States of America. The best to him. We'll take a musical break. And he's in.
All right, pause it, because I clearly wrote the wrong number down. Now I'm mad at myself, because I was listening to it and I was like, no, this mofo didn't. So someone calls in, because they do that. They let people call in. And he's talking about, Dave asked a question, he's talking about Ras Baraka's children. And so he's responding to a caller, and he goes into how Trump has told the world he's going to be a dictator. And we all have to be careful, because, he supports dictators, and these people are killing off people in their own countries. And I was like, what is happening right now?
So that's what. So it's like. So it is an extension of what of the previous point, right? That it's really happening now, but not really, because Trump will do something worse or equivalent here,
right?
Once elected, because others are also doing it overseas,
and Trump is going to support that. But I'm like, but you just said that it was okay for Biden to support it, and that one issue isn't important enough to be against. It's not it's not important enough. So I mean, it was such a stark contrast, and I'm so mad that I wrote the timestamp wrong because when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute. And I had to go back and find it to make sure that I wasn't crazy and that I didn't hear him wrong. Because I was really like, wait, did he really go back after all the conversation about how you can't dismiss Biden because of his support of genocide in Palestine, but you can't vote for Trump because he supports dictators who kill people? And like, what do you think is happening? Like, yeah.
Right now.
Right. Literally.
And this is just the one place. Again, if we every time we start to lift the lid at what's happening in Haiti, in now Kenya to Haiti, and Congo and the Sahel, it's either these same folks or their buddies, or a combination thereof. And then all consistently, even when there is this supposed opposition People's Party, the Democrats in power. So so that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm not, it's not that it moves me politically, but I'm not, I don't know what the word exactly is. I'm willing at least to hear what someone's rational argument is. I haven't, what the clips we're hearing here don't suggest to me it's a rational argument being made. So I'm just wondering if one is being made at all, or they don't feel that there can be one and that this is it. So maybe I'll have to, if I can handle it, I'll look for.
I mean, you can try, but
some other left spaces that are or so-called left spaces trying to have that discussion, but I just don't.
What I find a lot, and this is my own, like when I'm interacting with people, is I consistently ask people what policies that Trump put in place that Biden continued do you think are the things that like they were better, so he had to continue them, right? Like there are so many things that just remained, right, that were problematic when Trump was in office. And it's just, I don't understand this consistent argument of it's crazy for you to not see that one is better than the other. One is easier to fight than the other. Like that same circle, that same question. And no one has defined the line yet. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, I don't understand, like, where is this line that people have drawn in the sand that designates, okay, this is the line that says you've crossed it and now you're the less evil one, right? Or you're the more evil one. Like I'm waiting for somebody to make that delineation for me, because I still just can't see it. And every time Biden has an opportunity, to me, it just gets worse. Like I don't see him do anything that in my eyes is like, okay, like that one's the better one. Okay.
And even not just him, it's the whole party seems to collapse on any so-called progressive effort. Right. Whether it's from even the so-called squad or whatever, any 10, even if they even start to lean in a certain direction, the party just collapses on them, and we see it at the local level all the time. But look, with all due respect to you, Salim, and Salim Muakil is someone whose work I've appreciated for a long time. This is you were getting to the point I was going to just now. I made a note to raise. So when Salim asks here, isn't Baraka right? Doesn't the two-party system confine us to the lesser of evil paradigm? This is this is exactly the point I was going to get at in this way. Yes, the two-party system does confine us to the lesser of evil paradigm, but the point I was just going to raise for us to consider here is the note I wrote is that the interview we were just listening to does what we often see happen, is it falsely frames the issue of non-voting versus needing to vote for Biden to prevent Trump. At no point in that frame, maybe it gets raised at some other point in their work elsewhere, but in that frame, which is often used, what we don't get is an actual consideration of either A, alternative party development, or B, the sort of a variation of the after party, which even has a component conceptually that would work as an insurgent effort within the Democrats, or but in certain whatever. But the point being, there's never a consideration of something other than they set up that false frame, that false dichotomy of, oh, the youth are just not going to vote and de facto give things over to Trump and the Republicans, and never do what I just said, or even talk honestly about why the Democratic Party never presents itself, as you were just saying, as worthy of our vote in the first place. Like they're not doing anything other than saying we're not Trump. So that's what I don't like about those kinds of conversations. So yeah, the two-party system does confine us, but that doesn't mean conceptually or in reality that we have to be relegated being confined in that way.
Right, and the choice is to not allow yourself to be confined within that two-party system, right? Like that's the choice. The choice is you can stay within that two-party, dichotomy, this binary track. You only have one or the other, right? Or you can say, you know what, I'm going to separate myself from this argument and I am going to actually pursue a path that allows me to bring in people and to talk to people and to, determine a voting block and to organize and to do all of these things outside of this duopoly that has been created to basically to tell me this is my only option. Because even on that show, when they talk about, what's going to happen in primaries and all this thing, like Felicia, he has no idea who else is running, like zero idea who else is running. So someone called in and they were like, well, I mean, there are other people running, like there are independent candidates, there are other parties, there's other, you have a choice. You don't have to just pick between these two. And his answer was, well, who are they? So he didn't even know. Right. And then someone else calls in and she gives a couple of names and she mentions some of the independent candidates. She mentioned West, she mentioned Junior, she mentioned a couple of people, but she didn't mention Claudia. Right. And so for me, and he was very dismissive of it, in my opinion. Like, yeah, but, and this is what happens. Like if all we do is focus on these two parties, right? There's still a primary happening. Like we done jumped to Biden, Trump, and granted,
that's what I'm saying,
right?
No,
granted, it's likely that Trump's going to win it. I'm not trying to say otherwise, but at the same time, there's still primaries happening. Like it hasn't even been decided yet who's going to be on the ballot. And y'all done jumped ahead to, well, we got to pick between Biden and Trump. Like you don't even know who's going to be alive in November, right?
But that's why even with between, well, I think it went in consecutive order with how they had the conversation. But even between that and how you clipped it, it's important that they prefaced the discussion of Trump Biden with, the city's got their money.
Right.
Because that's part of how that's why they do that. Because they know that's where the money is. And it's so then we get, as the consumers and the audience, we get this very narrowed conversation that's presented as if this is all that there is. And the only other option is that easily dismissible non-voter who is just non-voting.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody put this because I can't highlight things. So this now goes back to this very singular, like if you look at the court cases, and we had this conversation.
Hold on, just because I work with Kim on the morning show. Let me read this out for everybody, real quick. IMO.
In my opinion.
In my opinion, right. I was about to ask you. I was about to had a boomer moment. What does that even mean? In my opinion, the one argument for Biden over Trump, I think, his credence is the ability to appoint federal judges. These judges can do and make rulings that hurt Africans on a local level. So please go check out our discussion and the debate with Dr. Carr, because this is exactly his argument. But yes, Renee, go ahead. Yeah.
And this is, again, it's not that he's wrong. Edward's not wrong in this statement. Yes, the federal judges have an effect in the rulings and what happens when you're in front of the judge and but it's never going to address the system, because that's the real problem, right? Like, getting a few decent judges in a system that's completely destructive to the entire African community, like, it's a minimum fix in a situation that needs a larger, it needs a larger reaction than just like put in better judges, right? Like, we have the opportunity to put in, but you're never going to have the opportunity to break the system if all you're seeking to do is put in better judges. That's going to have a limited impact on the community, because the general wider community is more affected by the system than it is by these individual judges. So I think we have to start really stepping back and understanding, like, these arguments are really just setting us up to continue along on the same path that we're on right now. Getting a few better judges is not going to fix the system. It's not going to break the system. And while we are living under an oppressive, capitalist, imperialist system, we're never going to be okay. It's just never going to happen, because the system is not set up for us to be okay. So there has to be a point where people are willing to say, like, we got to stop. Like, we got to draw a line at this point and say, this has to stop being the argument. These individual situations, individual policies, individual judges, all these things, none of it fixes the policy and the actual problem of a system that is set up in order to continue the oppression and destruction of African people in this country. Like,
But my thing is, I'm not even at your level. So before we even get to Renee's level, which if I'm thinking about, for instance, some of the people who raise this question, and sometimes my students, is they're not thinking about ending capitalism and colonialism. So before we even get to that, though, my question to Edward, and that I never thought was properly answered, if answered at all, by Dr. Carr, is, or anyone. So please send me the work if it's where it is. But Salim, to the previous point, if you send me a link to your work or where you've dealt with this question or that other question, if there's a definitive argument somewhere, please. So, but specifically for Edward and this question, what is the proof of the claim that improved federal judge appointees relative to Trump appointees means an overall net positive, not only just for Black people, but for anybody else, vis-a-vis all the other policies that the Democrats end up supporting when they're also in office? In other words, yes, there may be some federal judges that are appointed better than the ones appointed by a Republican, but I'm still, what is the either the data quantitatively or the intellectual qualitative argument around that is a net positive over the continuation of wars, the continuation of, on a lesser level from what you were saying, Renee, of the upward shift of resources and wealth to Wall Street and the top 1% that the Democrats happily preside over. Right. To the cap put on healthcare with this nonsensical so-called Obamacare plan. all the we can keep going. The AFRICOM, the support of the police, I mean, what you showed a couple weeks ago with the indirect funding of private police training, all of this is happening under Democrats. So my point is, all of this is still happening. Yeah, but there's a couple few better federal judges. So why is that? So even at the level that Edward's raising it, how is that even a compelling argument for why we should end up still saying, I got to do the lesser of evil thing? And then, but then I'll stop here. But ultimately, just in critique of that WBAI piece, in the interim, intervening years between these, what I did like Chomsky's line, quadrennial extravaganzas of the presidential elections, why is there no discussion of alternatives? Why is there no discussion of let's consider something else? Even if I know I'm going to end up doing the lesser of evil at the end of the day, let's just have 4 years of conversation with the Greens and the socialists and the nationalists and the after partyists and then see what happens.
And there are people in the chat like, my grandmother's not even going to listen to this. My parents not going to listen to this. They're going to laugh you off the block, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you don't speak the truth because you think people aren't going to listen to you? Like, you speak the truth anyway, right? And you allow, like, my argument has never been people should do what I'm telling them to do, right? My argument has always been, here's the information that I have. Here's what I'm presenting to you as the facts of what is going on right now. And it is up to you to make the decision as to whether or not those facts are worth doing something different than what you've always been doing. So just because you don't think your parents are going to listen, or because you think people on the block are going to call you crazy or whatever have you, if your real investment and what you're really caring about is providing information so people can at least have some awareness of the reality of the situation in which they're living, right? Then eat that. Like, okay, laugh at me, right? Okay, call me crazy. Okay, go vote for him if that's what you want to do. But when things go wrong, you can't say like, oh, I didn't know, right? You were told. Like, something that annoys me so much is people who are like, I really regret voting for Biden now. Or, oh, like, you knew before you voted for that dude, this is what, like, you knew. There's nothing that he is doing right now that is a surprise or is like so separate from the person he was before he got in office that anybody should be surprised by the decisions that he's making.